They say a transatlantic flight can change a person. Ask Morgan State men's basketball coach Kevin Broadas, and he'll tell you that that was his plan. He brought his team to Europe last week for a 9-day pilgrimage where they could discover a different world and learn something new about themselves. Call it team building, call it study abroad. Either way, his reason for the trip was clear.
I've been at a lot of places throughout my 30-plus year career, and when I was at GW, going abroad in Georgetown, Maryland, we went to Italy, and actually American University. You don't have to be a PWI just to go overseas and experience things. I wanted to get this experience for these young African-American young men overseas and let them see the other side. I want to take my hat off and thank Dr. Wilson and Dr. Freeman-Patton for giving us, the opportunity to come overseas. Yes, it was a lot of fundraising and playing extra games, but it's going to be helpful for these young men the rest of their lives.
But after 7 hours of travel and a 2-hour bus trip through Belgium, the team planned on more than just sightseeing. There's no escaping practice, especially for a team returning just 4 players from last season.
This is the first basketball experience against other people that we get as a team. So I really get to see what we're working with and see the future of what we're going to do this year.
Junior guard Cameron Hobbs said he welcomed the first opportunity to see his teammates in action. His reaction after his team's first game on Monday, all smiles.
The intensity that we got. I done played on some teams with high jumpers, with good shooters, with good ball handlers, but this team, we really is high intensity. The starters got a lot of energy, and when the bench come in, they pick up the energy even more. So it's like you always is excited playing. This team is real fun to play with.
Morgan plays 4 teams during their trip. They face host teams in Brugge, Antwerp, Brussels, and Paris. Most of the teams will be like its first opponent, Konitich, filled with skilled semi-professionals. On Monday, the Bears found themselves in a small gym similar to an old YMCA. There were a few fans in the crowd. 4 school-age boys brought a drum and made as much noise as possible. It didn't matter. The Bears won by 12 points after a slow start. Their victory came early in the day, and afterward they ate lunch with the host team, then took a short bus ride to Antwerp for some of that cultural exploration Broadas described. Morgan Jr. Will Thomas said the air smelled fresh and alive when he walked out of the airport in Amsterdam. It made him want to try a new approach.
I gotta say this too. I was never a picture guy. I would go to events, go to Jamaica and do that and just be in the moment. Now it's more like I'm taking pictures because I want to save these memories. I feel like I'm growing overall in like a lot of ways, relationships and just me personally. I feel like I'm growing a lot. So.
He took in the scenes, the buildings, food, and people with an openness that spoke to his maturity. Later on Monday, after a long day of playing and touring, Broadas gathered the traveling group for a meeting. There he asked everyone to introduce themselves. Then he asked the players to pair with some of the administrators and visiting personnel on the trip. They talked for several minutes, then shared. Broadas said the exercise had his players talking and sharing unlike any time he's seen. The experience resonated with him and rubbed off on his players. That was the plan.